I'm going to do a little bit of, I'm spinning a thick and thin again. I'm going to be making a coil in beehive yarn, and I'm adding some locks as I go. Thought you might want to see it. This is some merino tencel. The tencel is what gives it this beautiful shine. I just love it. Anyway, so I've stripped it down, the roving, into a more manageable size. And now I'm just going to loosen up the end a little bit so I can attach it to what's already on my wheel. Hopefully you can see all this. Oh, it's going to be a bit thin, so. So, I just spin the thin part, letting it, it's running through my fingers, and and I'm pinching it slightly to get the diameter I want. And when I want to make a slubby part, I just pull off from the back a little bit more, and I let my fingers just roll over the top. I don't try and compress it down really. I try and add a little more twist at the beginning and the end of the little slubs, just because I think it helps when I go to apply it and make the beehive. There's another one. And I go back to, and I don't, I just pull them off. I make a slub or what will be a beehive whenever I feel like it. I don't really say, oh, it's gone a few inches, I've got to make one now. And I'll show you how I add locks. Now, it's not going to look like much right now until I apply it. And then the lock will be cute. So I've just lined it up with the fiber here, and I just really let it wrap. Now see, what I did was I let the twist go down into here, so I've got to stop because it's not going to draft, and unwind it a bit. Great, now I've got a stick in there. And as I say, it really looks like nothing now, but it will be cute when I apply it. So here I'm just doing the narrower sections, and I'm feeding it through my fingers, and my fingers are, as I say, slightly pinching down. And then I grab off a bigger piece, roll my fingers over the top, and then back to pinching it slightly. That's how I do it anyway. I'm sure there's lots and lots of ways of doing a thick and thin. This is particularly easy to draft, this fiber. So it makes it really easy to pull a slub, which will become, let's add another lock, which will become a beehive. You'd think I would have had this already. I did, but they've fallen on the floor. So here's my little cluster of locks. And let's add it. There. It just gets twisted up with the roving. And see where this is, when I go to make the coil, you'll see those different colors, which makes it really pretty. Oh, not the coils, I meant the beehive. And depending on how thick you strip down your roving, that will really determine on the size of your beehive. So if you want a big fat beehive, don't strip it down as far. I just pinched one. Basically, you pinch it hard I'm just at where you want to start your thick part, your beehive, or what will be your beehive. So you pinch down, pull, slide your fingers along. Let's add another lock. Sometimes I add the locks when I'm plying, sometimes I add them when I'm spinning the first round. See, I let it go into it again. So I had to let go at the back here. If it gets down into here and twists up, it's not going to want to draft. I don't know if I'm explaining that very well, but so I'm going to pinch, pull, slide my fingers over. Pinch, pull, slide my fingers over. And again. And I just do them when I feel like them doing one. I'm not looking for consistency at all. I never do. I like the randomness of... I taught myself to spin because in my head I could see these magnificent yarns, but there was no such thing. Couldn't buy them, really. And I didn't know about Etsy back then. There may have been some art yarns on Etsy. I don't even know if Etsy was a thing then. And so I was at a fiber event, not intending on buying a wheel. And they had one, a beautiful one. And I asked her if it could be, if you could use it to make art yarns. Oh yes, she says. Well, I didn't know any better. It wasn't going to make art yarns. It had a very small bobbin, very small orifice, and small hooks. But it's a gorgeous wheel. I still have it now. She just fibbed. But I soon found out that I couldn't make an art yarn on that type of yarn, on that type of wheel. And so that is when I bought a Spinolution Mach 3. Oh, how I loved that wheel. Big, big bobbins, easy to treadle. Never gave me a moment's trouble. And that's really what I learned to spin on. It had the pull that I like. It had the big orifice, so nothing was getting stuck. And it quickly became my favorite wheel. But then I started collecting wheels. Ah, yes. I had probably 40 to 50 at one point. I think I'm down to maybe 25 or maybe 30. But the truth is, I really use... I sold my Mach 3, can you believe it? I did. A bunch of reasons why, it doesn't really matter. I preferred... By then I had a Country Spinner by Ashford, Country Spinner 2, and I preferred that wheel. And so I found it a very good home. It was hard to let it go. You know, your first wheel love. Of course, here I am yapping away and I'm not adding any locks. So when I go to ply through that section where there aren't any, because I was talking, I'll add them as I ply. which also works. Anyway, I started using the country spinner. That's the one of my wheels, I really like the most. Now this one happens to be the electric equivalent. And the reason why I use this one more often right now is simply because of space. I can leave this hooked up on the little table in front of my chair, and if I feel like spinning, I can start spinning, and if I don't feel like spinning, it's not really in my way. I had a Firefly too, but by Spinolution, that's their electric version of the Mach 3, but I sold that one. It was not a good fit for me. Okay, this has, I'm going to start another strip. Go down to here. So that's why I taught myself to spin, so I could spin these yarns I saw in my head. And there are people, and I don't know why, spinners, that feel that art yarns, or yarns like this, are not, it's not true spinning. But I have to really, really disagree strongly. I can spin lace weight if I want. I can spin thread if I want, and I do. Just to keep my hands from getting muscle memory, and that definitely happens. And then what that means is you're kind of stuck spinning the one style of yarn. Now, if that's all you ever want to spin, it's not a problem. But I want to be able to spin all types of yarns. So I make myself spin it from time to time. It's just not my thing. And I find that it is harder to do a well-balanced, beautiful art yarn than it is really to do a consistent lace weight, oddly enough. But that's just my opinion. I would never tell someone what they were spinning or what they were doing was not right. I just don't get that mentality. But there are some that just feel, you know, they've taken courses and they just feel that that's true spinning is what they do. So they can think that. But my objective always was to have a yarn that was lumpy and bumpy and full of interest for me. So, and of course, the more you practice any type of spinning, the better you become at it. Learn some tricks, or like there's certain wheels of mine that are better for some yarns than others. Most of my wheels, you can do anything on, well, other than the bulkies, because the orifice and the hook size and the bobbins just aren't big enough. But I really find you can spin anything on, for instance, this wheel, which has a huge orifice and huge bobbins. You don't have to fill the bobbin, but the option's there if you want to. So I always think it's better to go with the big bobbins. So there, I'm just adding another lock again. And pinching and pulling to make that slub that will become a cute little beehive. Now in an electric wheel, this one for instance, you constantly keep the drive band on the middle whirl. You don't put it on the other whirls. You keep it on the middle whirl, and what determines the twist that you put in your yarn is actually the speed in which your wheel is going. So the faster you have it going, the more twist it's going to put in to your yarn. Or you can slow it right down and get very low twist. Now in this, I want a goodly amount of twist because I'm going to be applying it, and I want those beehives to look great. Hopefully they will. Anyway, that's my little thing for today. I have some BFL fleece that I wash, scoured, and I'm dyeing it now in pastel shades. I hope to have that listed later today. It just looked like it wanted to be pastel shades. I can see it as one of those little, those the things you lay the baby on and take a picture, or spun into something beautiful, or maybe used in a felted piece, because those little tiny curls look so great in landscape pictures. So it'd make beautiful flowers. I hope. I won't know really until I dump it out what it looks like. Anyway, that's really it. Just feed it onto your bobbin, pinch and pull to get the thick part. One more lock. When you make a beehive, or a coil in a beehive, or a coil yarn, it's amazing how much fiber it takes to make any kind of yardage, really. But I love the look of them. And this particular mix with the tencel in it makes them shine, shine, shine. And I love that. Now I haven't applied any tension at all. I don't need to. But when some people have issues with this wheel, they say it pulls it in too strongly for them. If that's the case, all you need to do is cross lace your flyer, and that will, as many times as you need to, and that will reduce the pull significantly without changing your yarn whatsoever. Anyway, I'm at the end of this strip. I think I've only got... that might be the end of it. Anyway, have a great day.